gave us appointed times like feast days out the year just to meet. You gave us elders, imams, wise, counsel, agents, and teachers. You gave us high heavenly places just to see. You curses, pulled us out from church. We your sons and daughters, I'll be at your kings and queens, your servant, harmless and dumb, wise and servant. Put the immaturity down. One champion, you perfect for your name's sake. I wish I gave them a time to finish the race. Understand the sign. Be not dismayed. Hands in the air. Let your kingdom say.
Shalom, Yahuah. Man, I got a dagger for us, family. So let's go to the next music joint. I got some daggers, man. Melanin is worth more than gold, man. And these cats is using it in computer chips.
Trust in my mind is open. The enemy's approaching this camera close. When you're serving the Father, you need to be focused. The chariots coming, they clap to the sky. But down on the sin, they know you wanna die. Do you wanna be cool with the clouds in the sky? Pick a side right now. It's gonna be hard, but it's gonna be okay. Weather the storm, stay firm in your faith. During the trial that's coming your way. Trust in Yahweh, he gon' make a way. Give him praise, he should never repay. Trust in the Son and call on his name. Messiah is coming, he gon' spin the pen. Again, I'm tired of the fake, I'm tired of the lies. You know my mind, I felt alive. Look around, everything's so clear. Here's the truth, not telling no lies. We gotta repent, come out of your sins. Matthew 24:13. We gotta be strong on that door till the end. Stay with the Most High, the Father gon' win. I'm thanking the Father for waking me up. A higher, sure higher. Hashem for his grace and touch. I don't fear death like a Mashiach. We gon' rise up. Gon' spread the gospel. Like disciples, we gon' turn up. Take heed, cause he gon' spin a bin. Again and again and again. Take heed, cause he gon' spin a bin. Again and again and again. Take heed, cause he gon' spin a bin. Again and again and again. Take heed, cause he gon' spin a bin. Again and again and again. We killing our flesh, a spiritual battle. Life is a test. The 144, I see it in the neck. I'm keeping my Bible sword and attack. Fear the most high, better show him respect. Better not go straight but the left. Nobody's perfect, the Father do that. Seeking the kingdom, we need to come back. Remember that, touchdown to the morning, to this day, and the curse still going. I'm giving out wisdom, you robbers are born. Travis, you to hit a lion roaring, state to state, and the word is torn. You probably missed it, but you can't knock it. Seen it coming while the Father plot. Yeshua was coming and they can't stop me. Take heed and he gon' spin a bench again and again and again. Take heed and he gon' spin a bench again and again and again. Take heed and he gon' spin a bench again and again and again. Take heed and he gon' spin a bench again and again and again. Take heed and he gon' spin a bench again and again and again. Take heed and he gon' spin a bench again and again and again. Take heed and he gon' spin a bench again and again and again. Take heed and he gon' spin a bench again and again and again.
Let's go, families. Let's go. So, families, man, a lot of stuff has been going into the works, man, lately, man. A lot of people, man, has been doing their own little thing. And families, man, the Most High just clearly just really just been wanting us to, like, take heed to his word, y'all. And he just wants us to be in full obedience. That's all it is, man. A lot of people have different doctrines, man. They truly, truly do. You know, and on top of that, families, it's all about, man, families, man, you got to chew the meat and spit out the bones, man. It's like eating fish. You know what I'm saying? Man, you eat up that meat, man. And families, man, you picking through it, families, to get out them bones, man. That's what you're supposed to do, families, as you continue to grow, man, spiritually. You know, a lot of people, man, want to knock you based upon, man, what you believe, families. But as long as we believe in the Father, the Son, and the set apart Ruach, families, that's supposed to make us peculiar, then families, man, I'm rocking with that. It ain't based upon families. Oh, you think this and that, man. People is debating on the virgin birth, y'all. Now, me, I have a different perspective, man, when it comes down, man, to the birth of our Messiah, our King of Kings and Lords of Lords. He said that says that he came into his own, families, and we received him not. So me, in my mind of thinking, families, he is just like us. So when you go to Genesis chapter 1, he said, let us make man of our image and in our likeness, his character, families, to have it's just like him, families, not only in the physical, but as well in the spiritual. He's just like us, y'all. Just like us. But we ain't getting into that right now. What we getting into right now, families, is that these cats is using magic with our melanin, families. And families, they using this stuff in computer chips. Let's go to another music joint. Hey, King Chi, that's me in the building, man. King Lamar, man. What's up, man? My brother, my Ike, man. King Will I Am, salute and respect. Man, let's go, Zion. We're gonna play this music joint. I got some jams for you.
I found God like NASA. The most I be a part of me all around. The evidence, the unseen. Dark matter, God particles. See, it's written Second Chronicles. He dwells in the thick darkness. Cherubims is overarching. My guardian. Land of Eden when I grew them gardens. He gave the increase though. Let me know the track was flawless. CMBs was created for the sun was seen. I talking cash money like Nino. And a card of apartments. Let that be light. Like Jesus Christ. Mud and saliva the blind. He gave sight. The miracle if it could be explained. Kind of defeats the purpose like Donut King. Foreign whips like NASA, fully equipped and packaged. Don't tempt. The Lord will make you crash like Columbia. Actors like Lance taking pictures with the camera. Show enough. I'm waiting on my master from Nazareth.
Trials that life gives, we're not blind to Satan's devices. He knows your pain.
can't conquer. Evolution theories of man, how we the monster. When Darren Wilson is out, Dracula, Christ and Ferguson alone has shown that we are more than conquerors. Who has an ear with spears sent to the churches? Read what you sow, no respect of persons. Judgment will come. The sun on its circuit, sent forth by him who spread the heavens as a curtain.
Trials that life gives, we're not blind to see just devices. He knows your pain.
Most I see everything that's going on.
Call on his name, yeah.
Call on the name of Yah.
All your faith and sacrifices to prepare you for the crisis. He's trying your way. Call on his name.
Show you what you made of.
I'm gonna say, oh no, 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 no. Do you know who you are? Do you know who you are? Do you know who you are? Do you know who you are?
And beautiful Queen Christopher had just arrived. Salute and respect, Queen. We love you, ID. Man, let's go, family. Man, it's all about waking up your mind, family. Man, knowledge is power, family. So once again, family, it's about what type of knowledge you was taking that's going to give you that power. Where's your knowledge being magnified into, families? What we call wisdom. That's why you got to have your elders, man. Respect and salute to the elders out here, man. Those that honor their father and their mother in this hour, families, which is one of the 10 commandments. Honor them, families, man, while they are in your presence, man. Give them their roses while they are here. But at the same time, families, be who you are. If you are a hype man, keep your people turned up, man. Be that hype man for them, families. Give them that energy, man. They might need that. Man, there's a scripture where the Most High sits there and says, man, that be around those, rejoice when those are rejoicing, and mourn to those that are mourning, man. You have to be that shoulder that somebody can like just lean on. You know what I'm saying? That soldier that somebody can count on, man. Let's go.
Abundance Channel. Melanin, the pigment that colors skin, eyes, and hair, could soon be the face of a new generation of bio-friendly electronic devices used in applications such as medical sensors and tissue stimulation treatments. A study published in the journal Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences for the first time gives remarkable insight into the electronical properties of melanin and its biologically compatible bioelectronic features. Semiconductors are arguably the most important modern-day high-tech material. They drive all modern electronics, said study co-author Professor Paul Meredith of the University of Queensland. The majority of semiconductors are made from inorganic elements or compounds such as silicon or gallium arsenide. Organic semiconductors, on the other hand, are a relatively new member of the semiconductor family and are composed of molecules containing carbon, hydrogen, and other elements. Co-author Ben Powell, an associate professor at the University of Queensland, said that in semiconductors, such as those found in computers and mobile phones, electrons carry the electrical current. However, in biological systems, such as brains and muscles, ions carry the current. We've now found that in melanin, both electrons and ions play important roles, the scientist said. The study points to a new way of interfacing conventional electronics to biological systems using a combination of ion and electron conducting biomaterials such as melanin. Melanin is able to talk to both electronic and ionic control circuitry and hence can provide that connection role, said Professor Meredith about the study's findings, the culmination of 10 years of research and experiments. There are very few materials that meet these compatible bioelectronic requirements, and an insight into melanin.
Now, pause, families. Now, this study is based upon their research, man. Man, those that's within the black community, families, man, we are piggybacking, man, back based upon their information. Now, if you know your own history, which is very ancient, then families, man, you got information, man, that is worth more than just gold, y'all. That's real talk. This is something that could be spreaded worldwide, internationally, man. But most people don't want to talk about these type of topics, man. These type of situations, man. Families, I thought being in the streets, man, you have to watch your back. I didn't know, families, that spiritually, yeah, I did know, because it's written like that. We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers. Those are the unseen. So it's a scripture that tells you that you is not wrestling against your own self. But we do that, y'all. I didn't know, man, that being in the streets, man, you could be like just watching your back all the time. But then when you try to get out of the streets and you really like just working on your spirituality, these people beef more about whose is who spiritually, y'all, than those that's watching their back, getting shot and everything, getting robbed and some more stuff, man. You can't make this up, dog. These cats, man, those that's calling themselves Christians or Hebrews, or me, I claim myself as an Israelite, yes. Being reborn into this, I have to learn new knowledge, man, new understandings. That's still Christianity. We just don't have the trend of Christianity. We believe in being followers of the way, because that's what the disciples and the apostles was called at that point of time. We're talking about the Greek captivity. We're talking about the Babylonian captivity. We talking about ancient captivities, y'all. Not what we got going on in 2022. Like, really, man. That's why I'm glad people is dropping off this type of information. What type of knowledge are you intaking? That's gonna magnify the power that's within inside of you. And who are you giving the glory to? Are you glorifying yourself? Are you glorifying other people, man, that's around you? Or are you glorifying the one that made you? Your creator, man. Not the creation. You is not supposed to glorify the creation, but only the creator alone. How is people really talking out here? That's what I'm trying to understand. Let's continue.
Important biological functions and properties has been really crucial in this study. The team is currently working on creating ion-based electrical devices using melanin, with a view to ultimately connect them to actual biological systems. A critical area that one could foresee for bioelectronics is stimulating or repairing signal-carrying pathways in tissues such as muscle or brain, Professor Meredith concluded.
Dr. Benjamin Fuchs is a registered pharmacist, nutritionalist, and skincare chemist for over 35 years. He is quoted as having said, "Sight in biology means cell. Melanocyte is a cell that makes melanin. Melanin pigment is so unbelievable that it is now being used in computer chips because it has an ability to transduce electrical energy. Protonic energy. It's a fact.
Electromagnetic energy, families. What the Most High been calling us for the whole time. Starlights, star beings. You supposed to let your light shine, families, once you find out what your gift is. Families, this is a spiritual thing, families, that is being electrified. It's being magnified. That means it got a power switch, and it's turned on, all the way on, to the max. Man, most people, man, is sitting over here juggling, man, on based upon what you truly believe, based upon the knowledge and understanding and wisdom that you have, man. That's what's going to show me your application, what they call an actions. It's saying the sales, y'all, applies this type of action. Let's continue.
Fascination molecule. But all of this electrical energy makes it very powerful when it comes to the way cells divide. Fascination cell in the body, and that is the melanocyte. Did you know that melanin is the super absorber of all forms of energy? It has black hole properties. It absorbs toxins. It can convert light to sound and back again. It stores, transforms, and conducts energy.
False. So when I play that song Dark Matter, a powerful joint. Dark Matter. Let's continue, man. Like, some people will play you out here, y'all. Don't let somebody, man. It's already, man. They already disgrading you, man. Your character while you alive. Get along, families. No, just think about how they will persecute you, families, man, after you leave. They doing that now, man. While you alive, while you still got breath in your body. You know what I'm saying? So obtain this type of knowledge, man. Don't let these cats, man, be hypocrites or disgrade your mindset, man. Be knowledgeable out here.
Melanin allows the growth of human beings towards spiritual consciousness and inner vision. Yes, folks, that thing that you have in your skin and throughout your body. Now it kind of makes sense why black people are so spiritual. Because we have that thing called melanin. In humans, melanin is the primary determinant of skin and hair color. However, few people know that melanin is found in almost every organ of the body and is necessary for the brain and nerves to operate, the eyes to see, and the cells to reproduce. I personally think that melanin is our superpower. Melanin is like vibranium, the fictional material in the movie The Black Panther. That's right, folks, melanin, that same thing on your body that gives you the color in your skin. The blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. Numerous studies have shown that melanin aids in the human reproduction. Melanin causes younger looking skin. It has superior protection against the effects of ultraviolet radiation. And just think, many of us are old enough to remember when calling someone black was an insult. Just imagine that. If we only knew the power that we had in that blackness, the power in that melanin. The reality is that is a great compliment. And just think for a second, if melanin has this many uses, could you imagine the unlimited number of uses that melanin has? And I can't help but thinking about Henrietta Lacks and the HeLa cell. The HeLa cell was used in 1951, and it is projected that it's going to go on for as long as this society is in existence. The HeLa cell from 1951 is still helping people to this day. We have no idea how great this melanin is and the power that we have in our bodies. Amazing. Can you say black?
So check this out, families, man. It's all based upon you having a re-understanding on how they really truly programmed you based upon youth. You know what I'm saying? Now you done got older, you know what I'm saying? So now you can be able to expand your mindset, man, to different limitations, families, that is not bound to you. Like when people sit there and say how you worship y'all, you know what I'm saying? Can't nobody sit here and question about how you worship y'all own Abba, man. But if you out here, you being boastful on this stuff, people gonna expose you based upon your own evil works, man. It's your deeds. You know what I'm saying? So me, I can't talk about a culture that I'm not a part of, man. Who does that? No. You don't even really see that even biblically, man. But people talk about financial wealth and all this and that. You know what I'm saying? I understand that. But the Most High said you ain't even supposed to worry about that type of part. You ain't even supposed to worry about that. He's going to give you the things that you need, man. He's trying to show you how you're supposed to have a mindset of an ant worker, man. How the ants be working, man. The birds don't be worried about where they're going to find their food at, man. So why are we worried about, man, what's the real wealth? Is it this paper that you can burn? Or is this something, families, man, that is really built inside of you that come from the elements of the ground, man? Like the coins and stuff like that. Gold, diamonds, rubies, all this stuff comes from what? In the earth. The exact same elements that we are all made of, man. So what are we really debating about? That's why you got to put what? Historical sources on top of what? Uh, Hearsayers, man. People just hear stuff, dog, but they really truly ain't out there putting in that work. We talking about being knowledgeable, going into ancient history and how we are doing it today. How are you able to not repeat history if you don't even understand the history that you supposed to not repeat? What? Like, it doesn't even make sense. You know what I'm saying? So me, especially in my growth and what I've been learning, it's not about my financial wealth. Heck no, man, it's my salvation more than anything. I ain't worried about no money. I go get the money. I don't let the money come to me. I'm gonna go get her. I can't look for my blessings come from the Shamayins. They come from them heavenlies. That's why I gotta give thanks to my Abba Yah that gives me whatever I got to feed my family. So if I gotta work 3 jobs and push my body to the limit until I get to that age to where I can't do it no more, then if that's Yah's will, then so will it be. Until then, grind out here, man. We need people that's gonna be turned up, man. A lot of people come with these sad stories and stuff like that. Y'all like, man, where your rejoicing moments at, man? Like, where none of the times are you rejoicing, man? Like, these are the moments where I'm rejoicing when I find some information I ain't have no idea about, man. They using melanin and computer chips, really? I can see, though, because when the Most High clearly puts in scriptures as it is written that a man should be more precious than pure gold, then yeah, I can see that. Yeah, okay. Talk to me, y'all. Let the ruach flow through you, man. It's supposed to be like living waters, which is your blood. Let that blood flow. The only thing that's being confused is this mindset, not the system. It's the mindset. That's the only thing that's being confused. Let's go to the next gym.
I know who you with. I know where you live at. I know where they live at. I know when you close your eyes. I know when you wake up. Bam. So I'm like, and I know what they doing. He's telling me, I know what they doing. Either tell them to stop or you got to cut them off. And I'm like, damn, like how the fuck? Like that's when I knew NBA was part of the feds. You know what I'm saying? That's when they got him in there. And the little one with the little 4-5. He told me, he was just like, man, he said, I gotta make an example out of you. Gotta make an example out of you. Damn.
And that's when they go out there and they're going to start playing with your finances. Families, we is going to what they call a virtual, man, we already there, ain't going to it, man. It's already there. It just ain't to the full max, man. To where they is off a computer switch, man. They can shut down everybody's finances, man. You got to find other ways and means of survival, families, if they do that, man. Like, real talk, most people are sitting over here talking about, man, how quickly they can get their bank account to $1 million, $2 million, become a millionaire just to survive. Some cats, man, just want, what, 500,000, $500,000, man. That way they can take care of their families and their spouse families. You know what I'm saying? We straight, y'all. Just financially evaluate yourself quarterly. You know what I'm saying? And continue to excel. But then you got some families, man, that's just going off the rabbit, y'all. They telling you, man, that hey, you don't control nothing. The banking systems that control these funds, families, man, is off a switch, y'all. Ain't nobody getting nothing.
That's a fact. He said, I know everything. I know everything.
They do be knowing everything.
I know your whole crew. I know who's doing what.
Got the best investigators ever.
You know what I'm saying?
Well,
now, I get it. If you giving me, if I'm giving you, $100 million, I need to know everything. I know who you with. I know where you live at. I know where they live at. I know when you close your eyes. I know when you wake up. Bam. So I'm like, and I know what they doing. He's telling me, I know what they doing.
You see how that's my dude right there, man. Hey, Gilly is a fool, man. But I mean, like, people are starting to wake up basically based upon their ignorance, man, in their younger years. I'm listening, we waking up to see it like that. Dang, man, we thought that we was really truly in control of whatever we thought that we had control of. When you don't control nothing, families, man, that's when you got to give all this stuff to who? Yah. Let him control these things, and then you can say you have a possession of something because it was given by him, families, and ain't no man gonna pluck it out of his hand. He's talking about you. So that's what I'm trying to say. Most people mindset, families, be based. I don't know, man. It's different. I can't say it's weird, but because the scriptures don't call it weird. The scriptures call it strange. He said, "You shall see strange things." The question is, what are these strange things? Let's go to another gym. Your brother got some daggers, man. If you go to some classes, I don't give a care if people sitting over here telling you don't go to classes and stuff like that. Family seminar classes, families are very edifying, families, regardless of what the next man might say. They talking about the apostles didn't go to seminar classes. Families, they showed up on every Shabbat. Every time Hamashiach families read from the Torah, families, they was there. Isn't that a seminar? When two or more come in my name, I'm in the midst of thee. That's classes, y'all. Show up to your classes, man. We got some joints in Zion.
Can't wait to slow down a minute. Wanna take some time with you. Seems like you're always passing through. Because we always move a million miles a minute. So I'm grateful for any time that we're given. Whatever you wanna do, I'm gonna do. You don't defraud me, I don't defraud you.
There ain't no limit, the bed is undefiled. Baby, I want you, what you wanna do, nothing but space and time. Baby, 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 cause it's mine. I'ma lead the way, ain't nothing more to say. I ain't come to play with you. And that's how it's going down, 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 down. Hoping you ready. Oh, baby. And you know what I'm talking about, yeah. By you.
of our newest joints out there, families. I truly do hope that y'all like that one, man. Now let's go to our next gem.
For the invisible things of him from the creation of the world are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made, even his eternal power and Godhead, so that they are without excuse. As a drop of water onto the sea, and a grave of stone in comparison of the sun, so are 1,000 years to the days of eternity. When the cold north wind bloweth, and the water is congealed into ice, it abideth upon every gathering together of water.
Alright, now families, man, he's taking you to the book of Sirach. And then families, man, in chapter 43, verse 20, families. Now look at this scripture. This is why I had to display this, because this is beautiful, families, of how our blood is being, like metaphorically or symbolizing the blood, the waters, the living waters. Now this waters is it has three similitudes as well, basically three different meanings, y'all. Not only does it mean about like your blood, your living blood, it also represents the paths that your blood go through. That's what they mean about your veins. So when you look at your arm and you see your veins and stuff like that, families, he's talking about the current that's what's inside your body, y'all. And then the third one, families, will be your mindset. You know what I'm saying? What type of living waters is going through your, what type of wisdom, what type of understanding do you have through your mindset that's flowing through you daily. You forever learning, man, daily. Or is it like a dam and somebody done put a block in there and it done stopped your waters? You ain't got no current going no more. That means something done stopped you, man. Do you have like a reprobated mind? Let's get this, y'all. Check this out.
And clotheth the water as with a breastplate. The principal things for the whole use of man's life are water, fire, iron, and salt, flour of wheat, honey, milk, and the blood of the grape, and oil, and clothing.
And you see how they showing you the motion of it and stuff like that. That's why I was telling you about the three similitudes. The waters, families, it represents the blood. When you look at your veins, it's talking about the current, the paths. Who direct your paths, families? Who order your steps? It's supposed to be Yah, the Most High, the Holy One of Israel. That's who's supposed to be directing your paths. That's why when you look at your veins, it's showing you the currents, the path, your directions. Also, the mindset. This is where the knowledge and wisdom and understanding comes in at. That's why they showing you these things. Check this out.
For the dumb water and without life brought forth living things, the commandment of Yahuah, that all people.
This is not in your KJV. So in 2nd Ezra chapter 6, verse 48, for the dumb water and without life. What is this dumb water? Is now talking about your mindset. When somebody sits there and says, man, that a person could be blind, deaf, and dumb, yeah, that's your mindset, family. Not only you blind, you deaf to the word, and you dumb about it because you don't know what you talking about. You speaking ignorant out here. Stupidity, man. That's dumb stuff. Let's continue.
My praise by wondrous works. And Yahuah created great whales, and every living creature that moveth, which the waters brought forth abundantly, after their kind, and every winged fowl after his kind. And Yahuwah saw that it was good.
If you go to your local lake or the ocean, you always see water moving constantly. Same thing with rivers and streams. Water is just constantly moving. Where is it going to? Well, in my last video, we discussed the complex river system of Earth and how the way water is distributed across the world is very complex and easily suggests intelligent design. And so if you go to your local pond, you won't see water move at all. You'll see a bunch of moss growing on the water and a bunch of lilies and all types of mold-looking green substances growing on top.
Now, families, you see how they showed you a map, and that map showed you like a valley of living waters, families. Where'd you get your water source from? As well, families, going to represent the roots, families, that goes down deep into the soils, families, which is the earth, which we all are made of. Ashes to ashes and dust to dust. You should go back for which you came. Let's continue, Yasharal. Man, this stuff gets deep when you go to these classes and when you have people give you a different perspective than when you have other billions of other people talking about, man. There's only a small remnant, man, that is actually putting out certain information that is suitable for not only humanity, mankind, but families. It can fit almost every single culture. Not a religion. We talking about people heritage and traditions here, man. We talking about a culture, heritage, and traditions. Let's continue, my brothers and sisters.
The water, because the water is not moving. That's because most ponds are actually man-made. Lakes, on the other hand, are naturally formed. And in the lake, water behaves much differently than a pond. Even on a day when there's no wind, you'll see that the water is moving on a lake.
One thing that doesn't seem to be taught too much is every single lake appears to be connected through a river system, and all the river systems are connected to the oceans. So really, there's just one body of water on this earth, and everything's interconnected.
And so when you first look into the word wave, you will come across a physics definition of wave, which I could argue is actually related to the water form of wave, because they share the same word. And so this physics definition describes wave as an oscillation accompanied by a transfer of energy that travels through a medium, which is a space or mass. And so this oscillation they're speaking of is a vibrating form of energy. And so we're talking about an active force here. And we'll dig into the book of Genesis later, where we will cover how the book of Genesis connected an active force with water in the beginning. And so it says God's active force is moving to and fro over the surface of the waters. I can visualize some type of wave-like activity from that description. But like I said, we'll cover more of this later. So basically, science is describing a wave as a disturbance that transfers energy through matter or space. And so water is very indeed active, and we'll cover a lot of that in this video as well, because for starters, if your clothes are wet and you hang them out to dry on a clothesline, those clothes will end up dry in a matter of a few hours, and that's because water is always active. It's moving, turns into steam form, and it just keeps going and going. Water is really not meant to stand still, it's meant to keep moving. And so here's how I link the scientific definition of a sound wave to physical water waves. Is because there have been experiments where people have studied water, and when they expose water to certain sounds, the water will change its molecular structure according to whatever sounds are playing. And so the scientific explanation of what water waves are is not really explained. I think they're trying to say that has something to do with the moon and the gravitational pull from the moon. And then they're also trying to say that waves are started by wind. But when I went out the other day, there was no wind. So I guess they're saying even the slightest wind will cause the waves. But then what about ponds? Why don't ponds have waves? And so the answers really are real vague and dismissive when it comes to waves in the scientific community. And so let's try to figure out the cause of waves. Who knows if there's some type of force that the moon is causing, because they actually say the moon has something to do with people acting crazy when there's a full moon out.
Now, families, as he goes deeper into this, families, this is also bringing off another magic and reflection of mirrors. That's why, like in this times, families, man, you seeing like movies, families, where they talking about mirrors. Mirrors, man, can show you not only your outside appearance, families, but it's also a reflection of who you are. That's why when some people, man, want to go check themselves, they go what? Look in the mirror. They be checking their attitude. They be checking their character, man. That's what they do. I know I do. I can't speak for the next individual. I'm just, just off nature. You know what I'm saying? I'm just speaking off nature. That's what I do. No, because I really truly check myself sometimes, and how I truly do that is off a mirror. I did not know that you can trap certain like spirits come through mirrors, like almost being like a portal sometimes, families. Like when you touch a mirror, it's almost seeming like you touching an inner part of you that is very, very different than what most people see on a daily basis. You know what I'm saying? These is what most people call alter egos, man. The question is, how many alter egos do you have? Some people only have just themselves naturally, and then they spiritual self. But a lot of these cats, man, got about 8 alter egos, man. They got 7 of them, y'all. You hear me? You know what I'm saying? For real. These cats be squatted up with different alter egos, man. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm trying to show you what this brother is bringing out. Yeah, hey, King for hey, I be bringing my little 2 cents in. I put my little 2 cents in, man, on how I understand it as well. I just put my little, my little mixture in. That's it. As long as I don't take it out of this biblical context. That's one thing I try not to do. I am not going to take it out of this biblical context. I'm not the one I am showing my respect off displaying the video. I didn't create the video. These are not my point and views. The reason why I'm showing that because I understand the point and views of the person that created this video and every other video that I display on here. So I gotta put in my little 2 cents, man. You know what I'm saying? Just to spice it up a little bit. Show you what your brother Mo be thinking too. You know what I'm saying? Like I just don't fully 1000% agree or disagree with a certain individual. One thing I don't do is show people that I disagree. I don't do that. I show things that I agree with. That's almost 90% of the videos that I have over here. It's 90% of it is things that I agree with. The other 10%, man, is just showing you how people going off. Like y'all look at these weirdos. Like they're weirdos for real. But if you start doing some weirdo stuff, what you think that we gonna think about you? Same thing about me, man, myself. You know what I'm saying? If I start doing some weirdo stuff, man, what y'all gonna think about me? Don't do no weirdo stuff. Let's go, man.
Apparently, it's documented that people have behavior changes when there's a full moon, and that's where the word lunatic comes from.
Hey, I just saw that King Will.I.am when you said that. Says there's a movie that's called Mirrors. For real, bro. Like this stuff is crazy, bro. Like spirits be coming through them things, bro. Like for real, we don't really truly understand the spirit realm. Now I'm starting to understand why he named different. It was like 4 different things that he said when he said that we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but he said that we wrestle against powers, principalities. He said that scripture is powerful to me because he named like 4 of them, y'all. Powers, principalities. He says things of the unseen. I know that's 3 right there. That's a 4th one might be on that verse. So what are these things that's these powers and these principalities and these things that's not of the unseen? What are these things, man? Something to talk about other than us just out here arguing about who the Israelites, who the chosen people and stuff, man. Is families. Man, we got weightier matters than ethnicity. But at the same time, man, customs is truly something that the Most High Yah deals with. That's one thing I am not going to refute or disagree on. Customs, man. These customs are dealing with holy days and high holy days, period. If you talking about anything else, then you the one that's going off, man. He tells you about his high holy days and holy days. He tells you about the Feast of Unleavened Bread. He tells you about the Feast of Tabernacles. He tells you about the Feast of Weeks. He tells you about the Feast of Dedications. He tells you about the Passover. He tells you about what's the other one? The Day of Atonement. He tells you about these feasts, these celebrations. When we come up with that other stuff, y'all, who's the one that's truly tripping? Is it us or is it y'all?
So we don't necessarily have to dismiss the entire equation of the moon affecting tides and waves, but for this video, we're going to explore some other options as well. And so across my mind, is water some type of living force or something? Because water is everything to do with life. The human body is like 70% water. The earth is 70% water. Life cannot exist without water. Water is essential for life. We clean with water. We bathe in water. Water is just such a powerful force on this earth, and it's completely necessary for human life. I was pondering if water actually has anything to do with God's active force, because it says in the beginning of the Bible in Genesis that in the beginning there was pretty much only water, and God's active force was moving back and forth above the water. Because in the book of Genesis, it actually discusses how water was actually probably the first thing ever in existence, and it really seems like it has a lot to do with God, because it says God's active force was moving back and forth upon the waters, and that actually sounds kind of like waves, if you ask me, moving back and forth upon the waters. So is water some type of active force that has to do with God, and is that why it's always running? Is water actually alive? Another strange thing is that James Cameron made a movie called The Abyss, where the explorers ended up reaching depths that have never been reached before in the ocean, and they ended up running into intelligent beings. These beings were made up of water and were actually conscious and intelligent beings. And so this James Cameron guy appears to be revealing clues to us through his movies, possibly. And back to the human body being made up of mostly water, that has a lot to do with the blood, because blood plasma is actually mostly water.
Now you see the percentage that water contains, families, also represent the blood, because we are covered by the blood of Hamashiach. You are covered by your King of Kings and Lords of Lords, man. You are covered by Yahuah Yahuah. You are covered by him. So families, numbers, some people said they say I don't deal with numbers and all, man. Numbers don't lie. Numbers don't lie. That's how these cats, man, was able to come up with words and languages and stuff like that, families. They use numbers and symbols, hologlyphs. That's what they did, y'all. Back in the ancient times, we the ones that's going off because we think that we got it going on, but we don't. That's why the Most High y'all going to use fire. You know what I'm saying? Just show us, families, his fury to those that swear they got it going on when you don't. Some people don't even understand the little things, yet alone the weightier matters. The Most High is trying to prepare soldiers for war. That's why when you go to Jeremiah chapter 50, 51, he tells you that you're battle axes and weapons of war, that what you was created for. Let's continue, Zion.
And so the human blood plasma carries the white and red blood cells throughout the body. And so that mixture of blood cells and plasma and water is described as blood. And I believe the Bible also says blood is the life. So that goes back to the question if water is alive. And so we covered if the moon has anything to do with the water, and then we also covered if water is living, if that's why it's active. And so the third possibility we will discuss in this episode is tides. And so tides are not known to be on lakes at all. Some have tried to document that tides occur in lakes as well, but then the results were very inconclusive. But we know for sure tides are on oceans. And then once again, in my last video, when we discussed the complex water distribution system of Earth, we cover how the rivers flow throughout the inlands of Earth and then make its exit out back into the oceans and the seas. And once it makes it to the seas, there seems to be some type of tide system where the waters come into the land and then they exit back out to the land. This happens about 2 times a day. And you can pretty much time when these tides will occur. And so this all could be related to kind of like how the heart works on the human body. And this whole discussion is real connected because we talked about how blood and water is connected, and then how the veins run the water through our body, and then how the rivers run water through the earth. And so if there's some type of pump or a heart-like system on earth, that would really explain a lot, because the word earth and the word heart are actually the same letters. They're just arranged a little different with the H of earth in front of the E-A-R-T to make heart. And so they're pretty much the same word, so we gotta wonder, is that a clue? And the Bible actually did say that mankind was made from the earth. And so the heart's like one of the most important parts of a human body, and it runs the blood through the veins, which is the life. And so the words heart and earth seems to be a clue that mankind is indeed made from the earth, and it's all kind of connected. And so they're said to be in the center of the earth, some type of pump system that appears as a whirlpool that changes direction every 6 hours. And so for 6 hours it's pulling in water, and then for another 6 hours it's reversing and actually providing an output of water. And so that reminds me kind of like a pump system or a valve system of the heart. It seems like the earth could possibly be a mechanical-like structure, and then be built like a mechanical structure that's built to function how it functions, because that's how it was designed. Or it could actually be an organic structure where the earth could be some type of living thing. You even got active plants like the Venus flytrap and stuff that actually move. So living things don't necessarily have to be conscious. And when I discuss water being a living thing, that doesn't actually mean it's conscious, but it doesn't actually rule it out either. But yeah, this whirlpool is probably the abyss. And then I uncovered this picture in my last video where this water was explained as a head of the original river, where water originates from out of nothingness and flows onto the earth. So that could be like where the new water comes in. So it could be kind of like recycling out the old water. It falls into that deep whirlpool, and then the new water comes out into the earth from Eden, the forbidden place where people are not allowed anymore. And so a lot of people really call Jay-Z kind of like an Illuminati guy. And so he's running this company named Tidal. And so does that have to do with the tidal waves that we discussed in this video? Do they really know that tidal waves and act of water is not what science has been telling us it is? Maybe it has nothing to do with the moon at all, and water is actually the act of water of God, and how we kind of discussed in this video. So before I get out of here, I would like to conclude with discussing a little bit about how Moses split the Red Sea. Now, was the water responding to Moses or what? You know, that's just something to think about now that we're discussing if water is alive. And that also makes me recall when Jesus told the storm to be still. He was on a boat with some of the disciples, and there was a storm, and Jesus spoke out to the storm to be still, and then the storm was still after that. So it was obedient to what Jesus had spoke out into the storm. And so with Moses splitting the Red Sea and the water responding to Jesus and Moses, it just makes me wonder if there's more to water than what we have been told.
Only be sure that thou eat not the blood, for the blood is the life, and thou mayest not eat the life with the flesh. Thou shalt not eat it, thou shalt pour it upon the earth as water.
Water is the fundamental element of life and is the telephone to the universe. And the way we feel, the way we act, the way we process our emotions is going to have an impact on the water inside our body and the world as a whole.
He that believeth me, as the scripture have said, out of his belly shall flow rivers of living.
Man, straight daggers, Yashua. Straight daggers, man. And the beautiful thing that I love about this one, man, was that man, he was really showing you, you know what I'm saying, not only what we see in the carnal mind, but as well families in the spirit as well. Just showing you families, like when you look at the veins, when you look at the pathways of waters and the currents of the waters and stuff like that, man, everything is metaphorically speaking about Yah's doing in his will and the direction that he's trying to get all his people into, you know. And that's the beauty of it, y'all, of us actually even understanding these type of things and showing why he sat there and says that only he judges the heart. Only he judges the heart. You know what I'm saying? Then you hearing 1,000 different opinions about what they think the Most High does when he judges the heart. You ain't the one that's sitting on the mercy seat, man. He is. So I shouldn't worry about I shouldn't worry about your opinion about what Yah is going to do when he judges the heart during Judgment Day. Who does that, man? These people, man, be thinking they swear they thinking deep, but they really don't, y'all. There's certain boundaries that you ain't not supposed to cross, and these cats are crossing these boundaries, man. They're crossing them, y'all. Just because they say that, hey, Christ said you free indeed, that doesn't mean that you sit there and cross certain boundaries. He was sitting here telling the Pharisees and his own people that was going to crucify him, man. that if this kingdom was his, wouldn't his servants fight for him? Our Lord of Lords and Kings of Kings already knew who had dominion over this kingdom, man. We supposed to be waiting on the kingdom that's supposed to come. So at the point of time, families, we supposed to be prepping ourselves. Period. Preparation, y'all. Yeah. Survival mode. That part. Strap up and boot up. That part. If you ain't ready for that, then don't hop off the porch, man. Don't hop off the porch. But if you grown, you ain't got no excuses. Let Yahuah be your banner, man. Let him be your protector, and you ain't gonna worry about nothing. But if he ain't your banner, if you ain't saluting him, putting respect on his name, other than what other people got going on, man. That's what I'm talking about, y'all. So I'm around more individuals, families that have this type of mindset. I go to most elders, families, they are actually in war on social media, families, about ethnicities and some more stuff. We talking about old schools. I'm talking about families. They will truly weaken your spirit, man. They will truly weaken your ruach. Other than about building, man. How can we support other black entrepreneurs or Hispanic entrepreneurs or Native American entrepreneurs or Caucasian entrepreneurs or anybody that's part of, you know what I'm saying? Kingdom building for the kingdom, man. We ain't got that type of talk. These people is bashing on that the black people say they Israelites, so we ain't gonna like y'all. So man, I ain't really feeling nothing that you talking about. Doors, they're saying they are Moors and they are more Israelites and more Muslim and stuff. No, we ain't feeling what you got going on either. So you can go and kick rocks with that. Who else? Oh yeah, them Jehovah Witnesses too. Yeah, man, we never did like them. So I'm looking like, wow. When I was in the street selling dope, I thought I had to watch my back. No, families. Even after you get done doing that, you really got to watch your back off your own neighbors that's supposed to be loving you. And they ain't even carrying a toolie, y'all. They keeping their iron at the house, y'all. These people are really cutting you based upon word speech, man. Wordplay. Real talk that's going on out here, man. We clearly talking about old schools, man, turning into social media thugs, y'all. When I thought that a thug is supposed to be a true hero under God. Or am I tripping? That's what I'm trying to say, man. Most people ain't real spitting out here, man. They truly ain't, man. They speak off their emotions and some more stuff. I'm really telling you what I see what's going on out here. And I really thought I had to watch my back in these streets. Watch out getting robbed because I'm handling some stuff, killing my own people. But I didn't have that mindset at that point in time. I'm trying to get the money. That's the mindset I had. And me trying to get that money got me charges. It wisened me up and I had to mature, man. I had to keep my faith strong, y'all. So when I come to the spirit, man, we really out here battling out here, man. Like, y'all should be ashamed of yourselves, man. I was better out in the streets. At least I can see these cats coming. I don't know what side y'all cats coming from, man. In the spirit. I don't know what side y'all coming from, man. Y'all jumping me over here, man. In the spirit. And that's no cap. At least I was in the streets. If you got caught lacking, you got caught lacking. But at least you can see these niggas coming. Period.
Here come affliction. The more we get oppressed, the more we multiply. The more we multiply, the more we wake the tribe. Through much tribulation, we gon' come alive. He gon' get us out of Egypt, y'all, second time. Word hit my head, I got blood on my mind. He said no players by the blood, we alive. We keep these laws, we escaping that fire. Esau is falling while Jake on the rise. With judgments in the earth, then they gon' learn righteousness. We telling you chosen, nigga, why you fighting this? It's single DNA, get ready for enlightenment. You the
light of the world. Wake up, we will sing. They say Messiah is an idol. That idol got me running to the Father laws. No fools up in my spirit, I was going off. Casing stones at my people like I'm perfect, y'all. They sending doctors at me, but I promise it won't move me. On the phone, chopping scripts up with Mikael and Tuve. The inside of this cup clean from 4 inches shoes. I was made up in your image, do what you want, I'm abused. Dry bones waking up and it ain't nothing they can do. Revelation 2 and 9, Ashkenazi, not a Jew. Some Gentiles waking up like Abba, we gon' learn too. It ain't about us, it's about you. Hallelujah.
Had to give you a little sample on that one, man. He just dropped that one out like 4 days ago. No, a month ago, fellas, a month ago. That's my dude, Hezekiah, man. That's my guy. Let's get one more joint in, families, and I got another jam for us. Man, you know your brother got jams, man. One more joint in.
I just pray for patience. Real.
You gonna be real,
In this
be real,
truth, you can be
period.
tested. There's no way out of
Be
it.
real in the flesh as well in the spirit.
And I just pray for patience. Lord knows I need it. We all set goals, and some days we never reach them. Lack of discipline to have you tossed with the wind. We all pray for shade, feel that breeze coming in. In days I feel stressed, though we closer to our rest. Pressure weigh a ton, I push that bar up off my chest. Being humble is the key, and the Lord give you access. Trying to hide your sin, know the Lord does a bad check. No cowards in the truth, praying that we lose. Middle finger to the world, suckers never had a clue. Watch the company you keep, everybody ain't sincere. Don't credit too soon, you know Satan will appear. Stay strong in the Lord, if you slip, keep your balance. Get your core right, you know, exercise good habits. Look a hater in the eyes, can see they soul rot. They really sense greatness as they jockey for your spot. Keep your mind right, focus, never be the fool. Study hard, keep the loss, always play it cool. Never show the hand you dealt, keep that poker face. They like to play on your emotions, stand back and watch your fate. You ain't gotta trip, hold tight, be a soldier, know you strong in this might. And I just pray for patience. Never ever let them see you down, wipe them tears while you fighting for your crown. And I just pray for patience. You ain't gotta trip, hold tight, be a soldier, know you strong in this might. And I just pray for patience. Never ever let them see you down, wipe them tears as you fighting for your crown. And I just pray for patience.
Man, I just move differently than the next individual, man. That's all, man. But I love everybody, man. It's real talk. And what I bring to my people, man, I just be trying to show you how your brother moves, man. But at the same token, families, my love and spirit. Man, families, if your brother ever be going off, man, just let me know, man. Just let me know. And I'd humble myself down and sit down, man. That's one thing about me. I was able to, I've been locked up too many times. Yeah, I know how to humble myself down and sit down, man.
Money XO, let's get it.
Abba Yahuah, Abba.
Suave on the track. It's a bang.
I'm coming for you humbly right now, Abba. That you give us the strength, Abba Yahuah. That we give you it all, Abba Yahuah. That we don't
Feeling the
fall,
spirit right
Abba
now,
Yahuah.
man.
Give us the strength to keep us going,
Let's go.
Abba Yahuah. Give us our minds, Abba Yahuah. Be subjected under Yahushua HaMashiach. And I just give you it all. Hallelujah.
Yeah, I give you it all. Hamashiach came and died for me. Yahuah, you always ride for me. These ruachs trying to take my temple, talking robbery. Hallelujah, Yahuah, you took that side from me. Yahuah, he forgave me, I was slave. Bow down and face these when I be praying. As we face your holy, I gotta be strong and courageous like a rock. And also pose and reflect on myself, say la. And watch the gates of the kingdom be a soldier to fire. I pray Yahushua listen daily when I'm out of Shekinah. I pray I don't fall. So as I carry my stake, I feel it getting hard. Yahushua said, sell your garments and go buy a sword. He seen the signs of the prophets finna head to war. And be that mighty man prevailing like big Agabor. So give me that ruach HaKodesh that's in a flame for a spark. Also hammer the salvation and cast these thoughts. Cause these demons on my path trying to guide my walk. We almost set the end, we can't give it. Come on, that pride, that's the way to sin.
Gotcha, man. Come on, don't play with me. Don't play with me, y'all. Come on, man. Let's go. Let's go. Let's eat.
Welcome back to my video series, A Closer Look. Today, we're going to be taking a closer look at Afro-Iranians. By supporting this channel on Patreon, you're helping in the creation of these videos and contributing to this content. On Patreon, you can find more in-depth courses on African history. The link to Patreon is in the description box below. As with all my closer look videos, I try my best to pronounce names or titles that the people use themselves, so please bear with me if you notice any mispronunciations. Also, with videos like these, textbook knowledge on any particular ethnic group will have errors. At times, the scholarship has assumptions that don't reflect a proper historical perspective. So, if you're from this ethnic group, I would really appreciate any additional insight, correction, or revised context so that we can truly understand these Afro-descendant people as best we can. Some of the details concerning the history of Afro-Iranians are a little graphic, and so this video will be censored. If you would like to learn about the full perspective, sources will be posted at the end of the video. The history of African people in Iran and the surrounding region of the Middle East extends all the way into ancient history. Surprisingly, there is well-documented history about African people living in the Persian and Assyrian empires. They had various professions and played different roles throughout most levels of society. Many of the positions that African people performed in these Middle Eastern empires had to do with the military. It's been recorded that a large contingent of Nubian soldiers were present in the Persian army of Xerxes when he invaded Greece in 480 BC. In fact, it's well documented that Assyrian horses and cavalry were in part supplied and trained by African experts from Kush. Several documents mention Kushite horse experts living in Assyria. Daily cites a Neo-Assyrian text mentioning a Kushite holding the high military office of chariot driver of the prefect of the land. Neo-Assyrian texts even mention Africans working in other jobs in the empire. An economic document mentions 2 Kushite eunuchs with Assyrian names collecting personal debts, and 15 Kushite women are found on a list of foreign female workers that included musicians, temple personnel, scribes, smiths, stone workers, a barber, and a baker. Both these texts come from archives in Nineveh and may date from any time between the beginning of Sargon II's reign in 721 BC and the fall of Nineveh in 612. Even though the Assyrian Empire was primarily based in Iraq, I hope we can all see just how ancient the Afro-Iranian presence is, with the clear involvement of Africans in ancient Iranian armies, aka the Persian Empire, coupled with African professionals living and working in the neighboring region of Iraq. It no doubt proves the extensive history of Afro-descended people in that general region, as the modern countries of Iraq and Iran clearly did not exist back then. It's clear that Africans, or more specifically, some of the ancestors of the Afro-Iranians, participated in and contributed to the development of 2 of the most iconic civilizations of the Middle East. Even though there is an ancient and medieval presence of Afro-descended people in Iran, most Afro-Iranians seem to descend from the Persian Gulf slave trade of the 19th century, with a sizable portion originating from the Swahili coast. The demand for enslaved people seemed to have increased during this time. The demand for enslaved peoples increased in Iran during the 19th century for 2 main reasons: declining population growth and economic stagnation, largely due to the impacts of disease and famine, along with the harsh climate and bureaucratic mismanagement at the local level. Despite there being no reliable figures, some scholars estimate that around 2,000 to 5,000 Africans were sold in the Persian Gulf annually in the 19th century, some of whom did not survive the journey.
Pause. So when the Most High said that says, man, that he just scattered his people on all 4 corners, families, man, there is an ancient history, families, that was not told to you, families, during your youth, during the time of you growing, families, and understand we had to learn their history. We had to learn their forefathers, families, other than the dynasty of your own forefathers, man. Yeah, you had to learn the dynasty of other people, other nation forefathers, before of your own, man. And then people sit over here talking about what this got to do with Hamashiach. Got everything to do with him. Because he said he's going to reveal all. He comes as the volume of him. The book comes as the volume in him. So families, man, it's only talking about him and pointing to him, period. The reason why I show information like this, family, is to show you about things that they did not tell us when we was younger. Like, why? That's messed up. But at least we can get it for free. Families, man, if you had to go to even a historical black university, man, a HBCU college, man, get along the Ivy Leagues, paying these high tuitions a year just to get this information that you can get for free now, man. Why? Because you got other brothers and sisters out here putting in that work. They putting in that work. They showing you like, dang, man. And they probably went to these type of universities, went to their libraries, families, and went through their gallery, y'all. And was able to have control, access to these type of documentations, man, just to give to us, y'all. Took screenshots and everything, saved up enough money so they can buy their own book. You know, you getting it on Amazon and eBay and stuff like that, they're going to hit your arm and leg for sure. But you got the knowledge of what? These books. He comes as the whole volume of it, y'all. A lot of people be on some trip stuff, man, because they want to be in the standstill. That's what I'm trying to say. Did some beavers come and put a bunch of mud and stuff and a dam to block your waters, man, from flowing? Or you gonna keep your current flowing strong, man? Just think about your veins. The veins that you have in your head. That's why when you rub your temple, sometimes, man, you get migraines. You start rubbing your temple because you got a headache. Something being what? Troubling you. You've been worrying a lot. All that worrying is gonna aid you, man. Real talk. When a lot of people see a bunch of grays in your head and on your beard and stuff like that before your years, man, that ain't wisdom. That's stress. And you too blessed to be stressed out here, man. Queen, you too blessed to be stressed out here, sis. Like, real talk. Now, if you is growing them beautiful, nice, rich grays, you know what I'm saying, that's showing you that you aged in your years, then yes, that's gonna grow beautifully, y'all. Some of them got almost looking like streaks, y'all, and they ain't even dyed. That's just their natural hair, y'all, and they look like streaks. Just beautiful grays, man. That's wisdom, y'all. The Most High Yah done clearly prolonged their years. The question is he's gonna do that for us? So be in full obedience. That's what I be seeing, man, when I look at certain like information, y'all. You know, I can't talk about the Chinese dynasty. I'm not Chinese. I can't talk about those that's in the Philippines, man, over there in the islands in Thailand and stuff like that. I'm not them. I can only talk about one place, and that's America. But other than that, my people, they might have came from Africa. I believe in it so much, that's why I claim myself an Israelite. Because I think now I'm starting to believe that, hey, I believe my forefathers might have came from over there. Yes, that part. So I'm trying to understand the missing history from my people. Why? Because I'm cut from that type of cloth, man. Why am I talking about other people's dynasties that don't belong to me? How it's going to benefit me and my people? That's what I'm trying to understand. You know what I'm saying? But when people sit there, I used to do that in the streets. So, but when I come in the spiritual realm, y'all cats out here is harsh. Wow. You don't even need a toolie to shoot somebody. You're gonna shoot them with your words. That stuff cuts deep. Like, dang, I can't believe you believe like that. You don't even know me. I wouldn't even come at you like that. Like, there's certain codes we couldn't break in the streets, man. But these cats are breaking all types of. Now I see what these codes is in the spirit realm. When you in this Bible, These codes are commandments. They are statutes. They are judgments. I'm like, wow, that's crazy. So what we were doing in the streets ain't got nothing, not even close to what they do in the body of believers, man. And these cats out here is breaking codes, y'all. And that's no cap. That's no cap. It making people that was in the struggle go back to the struggle, because y'all, they ain't even in the struggle right there. Y'all supposed to be the body of believers. Y'all ain't moving like that. You don't need to. You protected. You protected. But y'all warring against yourselves. That's crazy. Now I see why the young don't want to come, man. Because the elders, man, it's out here. Some of them, not all of them, but some of them going off. They are our leaders at this point in time, y'all. There are positions in every single dispensation, man. Every single season, there is appointed times, visitation days, man. You have to be up to par. You have to dot your I's and cross your T's and say that is it. And that's all. Let's continue.
Most enslaved Africans were brought into the Gulf on boats belonging to Arabs from the eastern and western coasts of the Persian Gulf and the Ottoman Empire, as well as those living in the port of Lenga. Although most Afro-Iranians seem to have come from the Swahili coast region, a sizable amount also came from Ethiopia. Ethiopian Christians were among the most popular enslaved people traded by Somali traffickers. The Ethiopians who were transported through Persian Gulf trade were characterized into groups based on profession, many of whom were ironworkers, carpenters, domestic servants, bodyguards, and more. However, Afro-Iranians were not just brought into Iranian society for forced labor, but also for the arts. Many enslaved Africans were selected not only for their age, gender, and physical strength, but also for their musicality and ability to perform. Indeed, African dance and music were prevalent in Iranian society, and the former enslaved people were gradually formed into distinct and specialized artistic groups of dancers and singers. Enslaved African entertainers performed in royal courts, weddings, and had various street performances garnering big crowds. Interestingly enough, enslaved Ethiopians contributed to Iranian society in a unique way, bringing their distinct Ethiopian traditions with them. The enslaved Oromos and Rajas of Ethiopia in Northeast Africa introduced into the
Man, I got some more for y'all, family, just because I told you I got some gems, y'all, man. I've been gone, man, for like almost 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? I thought I wasn't gonna be able to go live today, but y'all's willing, man. He made me make it back to the house in time, families, and man, we getting it in, y'all. So families, man, this stuff is deep, man. This stuff is deep. I got a lot of information, y'all. I really, really do. I got like two weeks worth of information, man, for real. But the time is getting short, and we gotta do what we normally do daily. You know what I'm saying? I just want to thank y'all, man, for everybody that came in the building. I want to say thank you for rocking out with me, man. And families, man, spit real stuff, man. When you need to spit real spit, man, for real. And when people say like, why you saying spit a lot? Because when I read the scriptures, Hamashiach had to spit on the ground, families, man, to heal the blind, man. Real. So spit real spit, man. That way you can heal somebody's families during the time of their troubles, man. Through the time when they worrying, man. Keep that exact same energy every single time. Families, don't break character, man. Don't let these cats break character, man. You know what I'm saying? Break your character, man. Like real talk.
I am, which means the children of Israel.
Now that's in your book.
Yes.
I came across it. I was like, wow.
Yeah, you remember that.
That's right.
That's good, yeah.
Which means the Garden of Eden, the Promised Land, the land of Canaan, all of that was the Garden of Eden, the Promised Land that our people will return to, i.e. Africa. I am black but beautiful, Song of Solomon 1:5. Job 30:30, my skin is black upon me. Judges chapter 16, Delilah cut the 7 locks off Samson's head. Joseph was sold into Egypt, and when his brothers returned during the time of the famine, they could not recognize their brother Joseph. Y'all got to hear me. Moses was raised in the house of Pharaoh, even though Pharaoh was trying to kill every Hebrew baby. Paul was mistaken as an Egyptian way 2,000 plus years later in the New Testament. That means the ancient Israelites preserved this black African visage because our people, the Shemitic Israelites, mixed so much with Ham that they became the same synonymous people in appearance, but the indigenous Hamitic tribes did know the difference from the Israelites, right? But it was very hard because we see Moses was raised in the house of Pharaoh, even though Pharaoh was trying to kill every Hebrew. Now, how in the world did something like that happen? How in the world was the enemy of Pharaoh raised right under his nose? Paul was mistaken as an Egyptian. Christ went deeper into Africa to hide from Herod in Matthew chapter 2. So now all of this shows you that that Bible belongs to African people. The Bible is the last remaining overshorts of the black kingdom that was originally on this earth. The Bible in it has 3 eras. The era of the black man, the era of the European rulership, and the restoration of the black man. That's how you know the Bible has to be the word of the Most High, because it connects all ages within itself. It prophesied these things was going to happen. In 1 Maccabees, I showed y'all, chapter 3, verse 48. It says, and they laid open the book of the law wherein the heathen sought to paint their likeness. The Most High has their calling card, and the very same book that they tried to use to destroy our history, the Most High said, I already knew this was going to happen. This is chess, not checkers. Y'all got to understand the power of that word. Christ in his wisdom said that my mission is to resurrect a black nation, a black revolution, to restore Zion and to rule above all nations, to free them from the European Romans. That's my purpose in this world. But understand, he said I can accomplish that in my death. In my death, I will become a worldwide brand. Now, this is marketing 101. He knew that Constantine would come on the scene. He knew that Constantine would see this cross in the sky by the deception to his very downfall from the Most High Yah, that Constantine would adopt Christianity as the Roman Catholic faith. Y'all understand? The official Roman religion would be Christianity. And the Gentiles, through deception, through looking at the Bible and saying, well, this is for all people. God so loved the world. They did not know our culture. The Bible is an encrypted zip file of the history of the black man. Y'all got to hear what I'm saying. The wisdom of the Father. There was a story in 1 Kings where the Most High showed an illusion off the water of blood to one of these kingdoms. I can't remember who was trying to conquer Israel, but he allowed Israel's enemies to see blood and to think that Israel had fallen. When they got there, there was an ambush waiting for them. You have to know the power of that book. That book has layers and layers of truth in it to protect the identity of a people. Hear what I'm saying? So all of this was by design to fool the nations. The nations seeing that Bible and not understanding the lineage of Joseph and not understanding, y'all gotta hear me, not knowing who the true lineage was, Judah versus Afriat or African Ephraim, all of this allows their rulership but protects our history. Christ in his wisdom laid down his life because he knew the nations would pick it up. Spread our history to the 4 corners of the earth. When this is chess, not checkers, checkmate, that's what he wanted to do the whole time. Because in Matthew 15:24, he says, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. But Israel had been scattered even during the time of Christ. He could not reach every region, but his life could. If he laid down his life, it could. So now I'm setting y'all up. The virgin birth was a way that the Gentiles could use their culture to rule for a season. But when an Israelite extracts all the files from the zip file of the Judeo-scriptures, y'all got to talk to me. An Israelite can say, wait a second, he was of a specific paternal lineage. Now we understand that the Apostle Paul in Revelation chapter 12, I got to go through this history, knew that a red dragon would try to kill a specific lineage. Y'all, there has been a war against the black race, and it goes so deep, and we don't understand it's spiritual. That red dragon that went against the woman that gave birth to the Messiah, that red dragon represents Edom, the Edomites, the white Europeans, but not just that, Herod who was an Edomite, the Bible tells us, was trying to kill Mary because Mary was going to give birth to the Black Messiah. This same spirit is COINTELPRO, J. Edgar Hoover, going against every Israelite rebel rouser, Malcolm X, Dr. King. This is a spirit, y'all, that the Bible calls it out. That red dragon would give birth to the last ruling empire, the new Roman Empire, that its whole job was to use deception, use our history, to be able to weed out any Israelite. Y'all, this stuff gets very deep. So John knew that this spirit existed that would use it to enslave the entire earth. Christianity is the mark of the beast. White Jesus is the image of the beast. Y'all hear what I'm saying? So they had to get rid of us by saying Christ was immaculate, Christ's father was not Joseph. I got to deal with it. When the Africans that predate the Roman Catholic Church knew that Joseph was the father, the Ebionites, the Nazarenes, the Essenes, the first century church, the Israelites all said Joseph was the father. The Ebionites, the scariest thing is the Ebionite Gospel of Matthew stops at verse 17. I'm not trying to confuse y'all, but I got to tell you the truth. That the African Eastern Israelite Judean perspective was different than Roman Catholicism. They knew that Joseph was the father. And the oldest accounts of literature, the oldest version of the Gospel of Matthew also substantiates this. St. Jerome, one of the early church fathers, attests to this. He says that we don't know who wrote the modern Gospel of Matthew, but we know that there was an older version. Now, y'all, this gets very deep. The working of iniquity. They laid open the book of the law and painted their likeness. Not just white Jesus, but Greco-Roman culture. Zeus, an immaculate conception. I got to give y'all the truth. I would not be a servant of the Creator if I didn't tell y'all that that Bible is the African Eastern Israelite history book. They don't want Joseph's lineage to matter because when you research his lineage, we see the truth. Now, this is where David's lineage comes in. I got to tell y'all. This is where Christ's lineage comes in. This is how the Most High said, they're going to steal my people's history, but they're not going to be able to do it successfully. Because the father took a hidden lineage inside of another tribe. Now, y'all check out that David E. for Life video. I'm finna deal with the entirety of David's life. This is going to be a series. David was an African. I showed y'all that Africa is not a Hamitic word. Akebulan is the oldest term for the continent when it belonged to Ham, and it means the motherland. Because even the promised land is on the same tectonic plate. So that was the motherland. That was the Garden of Eden, Africa itself. Now let's go deeper. So now Africa is the motherland, but it was called Akebulan from antiquity going back to Ham. If you go a little bit further, it's called Ethiopia because Cush is the son of Ham. So any of Ham's descendants, you could see the continent be called after them. But Africa is not named after Ham's descendants. Let's go further. So you see Akebulan. You see the land of Cush or Ethiopia. You see the land of Mizraim, also referring to Africa. This is where you get Kemetic. Ham in the Hebrew is Ham, right? This is where the Pan-Africanists get Kemetic from, referring to the continent because Egypt was that leading civilization during that time in history. So where did the word Africa come from? This predates Leo Africanus. This predates Scipio Africanus. This goes back to Josephus. Josephus says that the continent of Africa was named after the two Afars. Y'all can look at Josephus' Antiquities. I have both of those, Antiquities and the Book of the Wars. If y'all want me to do a follow-up, I can go into more detail. But basically, Josephus talks about how the continent was named after the two Afars. One of those Afars being linked to the Cushitic people, the Midianite people. The Midianite and the Ethiopian people are Cushitic people. This is the same people. Because we see Jethro, the father-in-law of Moses, called the Midianite priest. His daughter, Zipporah, was the wife of Moses. So Israel was always linked up with Ethiopia, always linked up with Cush, and this is the first Afar that the continent of Africa is named after. But it says the two Afars. The other Afar is the grandson of Abraham, specifically the great-grandson, because Abraham did not have a grandson named Afar. But he did have a great-grandson named Ephraim. When you look in the Hebrew concordance, the root of Ephraim is Aphor. Those two Aphors, Ethiopia and the Israelite Ephraim, created the continent known today as Africa through the Israelites migrating deeper into the motherland and having babies, creating the Bantu expansion, created Wifran, the North Maghrebian Morocco Ephrati family. We also see that even before the first temple, you had Israelites in Africa, in Morocco from Eretz Israel. You had African Israelites that had been there way back during the first temple. Now it says a Jewish kingdom was set up there in Morocco, which was governed by the Ephraim family, then named Ephrati. So we see this connection with the Moorish history, the Moors that claim Moroccan heritage, right? A lot of those Moroccan Moors were Israelites that set up a Jewish kingdom before Islam and was governed by the Ephraim family. Now we see that when Islam spread through Africa, that a lot of these Jews were made to convert to Islam, and this is why a lot of our forefathers practice this day, from a lot of that spread of Islam going through Africa. But originally, there was an old Jewish kingdom set up in Africa by the Ephraim family, the Ephrati family, and Ephraim, where you're getting Afri, are the people of Africa, right? The Jews of this kingdom are said to have belonged to, y'all watch this, the tribe of Ephraim, one of the lost 10 tribes of Israel. Now, why do you keep saying Ephraim? I argue that the map has been turned upside down by white supremacy.
Pause. So, families, this is what like truly enlightens me, man. Like me not knowing this type of information. So, but then you got most people that will come up to you. That's why I'm glad that we got brothers and sisters that say, man, to have an answer for every man, families that try to pursue on you, man. They're gonna continue to come out and combat you, man. Every time they are always gonna, instead of agreeing with you, they always want to disagree with the type of mindset that you might have, or the certain type of understanding that you might have. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be careful on that. You got to be knowledgeable of these certain things. You know what I'm saying? That way you can have an answer for every man. I didn't know nothing about this, man. So how was I able to obtain this type of information? You got to be having that will, that fire to learn, man. Other than that, man, you just waiting on it to come to you. Go get it, man. Go get it, y'all. So I love that. That's what I love about these brothers, man. That's what I love about these sisters out here, man. That's telling you, families, man, go get this information, man. How can the Most High Yah restore the things that was lost to you if you ain't out there trying to go get it, man?
What, JB? Y'all hear what I'm saying? When you look at Upper and Lower Egypt, Upper is at the bottom of our map, and Lower is at the top. When you look at Nubia, Lower Nubia is on the top, and Upper Nubia is on the bottom. Well, how does that make sense? The Bible says that this people, these Greco-Romans, that last beast, would seek to change times, locations, the geography of the maps. I argue the northern kingdom is actually Africa. That region of North Morocco, a lot of that, our Israelite forefathers lived in that region. A lot of northern kingdom was in that region. They knew to migrate there. We saw this with Derek Lang when he talks about the origin of the Yoruba. We see this with Gad's son Eri, with the founder of the Igbo people, also have that same oral tradition of migrating.
So when we see that it's a verse where it says that a dove came when the windows of the heavens open, families. The doors of the heavens open, the windows of the heavens open, families. And the Most High Yah shined His glory on Hamashiach, families, and said, quoted, my son that I am well pleased of. This is my son that I am well pleased. That's also stating to how it's showing you that in the book of Genesis, where he had to repent against himself, that he ever created man, because he saw the thoughts and the imaginations of man. You know what I'm saying? He said that it was very wicked, very wicked. He had to repent against himself. It took Hamashiach, man, to come in the flesh, families, the word that was made flesh, to show us, families, that we could do the will of our maker, man, our creator, families, and anything that he command us to do, families, we shall do. So when somebody sits there and says, what say thou? You shall have an answer for every man. What say thou? You have to speak as the oracles of Yah every single time. Families, you got to keep it in the spirit. You have to keep it in the set apart ruach. Let the HaKadosh flow through you, Yasharal. That way that Yah will put his words in your mouth, man. And you shall be an ambassador to him. You shall speak for him. That vessel, families, that he made. And that he, as well, is pleased of. You know what I'm saying? So that's the type of understanding that I get when I see brothers and them bring this out. It ain't bashing each other, families. It's trying to, what's already understood don't need an explanation, point of view, or point of perspective. Or if I can say that in a way. What's already understood shouldn't need an explanation. I got some more daggers for us, y'all. I've been holding a lot of stuff in, man, for a couple of weeks. I'm glad I got some brothers and sisters, man, that's just bringing out information to be like, man, show them this. Hey, let it edify them. Let it melt in. And then after that, show them that. Let's get another joint in here.
When I'm with you, your love is better than my wildest dreams. Like a pillow, when I rest in you, I'm pillow talking. 'Cause I know you're watching over me. Like a rainbow, you sit high above the clouds on a rainy day. And I knew that it was you from the moment that I tried to compare everything to the way that I aspire to. You're the word that I aspire to. Dream. When I'm with you, your love is better than my wildest When I'm with you, your love is better than my wildest dreams. When I'm down and out, I'm drowning out the world around me. Only you can take me deep. When I'm scared about all that's yet to come, it all points me to the sun. And I knew that it was you from the moment that I tried to compare everything to the word that I aspire to. You're the word that I aspire to. When I'm with you, your love is better than my wildest dreams. Better than my wildest dreams. You're better than my I can't picture life without you. You formed the planets, made the stars. In your love I am made brand new. You said to me to just come as you are. I can't picture life without you. I can't picture life without you. From the planets made the stars. In your love I am made brand new. In your love I am made brand new. You said to me to just come as you are. Your light shines bright in my dreams.
Second homeland. This is the reason why you hear all this news about Ukraine all of a sudden, because Russia stood against them, because they knew that they was trying to take Ukraine, and Russia has always been a part of Ukraine. You got what I'm saying? Now these people, these Ashkenazi Jews have gotten in the politics of America, and they are using America to stomp out their enemies. Yet America is going to reap the punishment or the judgment. See, America is reaping the judgment for fighting wars that were started by these people. Y'all got what I'm saying? So all this Middle East stuff, if you name a conflict, I can tell you what's matter. Let's start with it. You want to start with Iraq? Let's stay Iraq. Okay, we went to get Saddam Hussein for what? Weapons of mass destruction. That's what we were told. We were not told that. Now I don't understand how the 19 hijackers that supposedly knocked down the towers was from Saudi Arabia, but we go to Iraq and we go to Afghanistan. People ain't had nothing to do with this. But the hijackers, we knew was from Saudi Arabia, because somehow you couldn't find bodies, but you found the hijackers' ID laying down on it. We are some suckers, man. Oh, we suckers, boy. How did we get this slow? Did they not tell you within 1 hour of that plane hitting that? I heard it. We found the ID, Muhammad Atta, whatever his name was. We found his ID laying on the ground. But they say, where the bodies at? Oh, the bodies incinerated. But the papers fell out. We don't think about this stuff. Come on, y'all. We just please. I could tear that up. I could mess up 9/11 so bad that you'll leave out of here with your mind spinning. But I ain't gonna even get into that. But this is just how we have. I told this America this rule. But in reality, let me be straight. Can I be straight? This is the crux of what I'm gonna say. I'm just gonna tell you because I ain't got time to keep going. Look, there's a war going on, but the war has nothing to do with black folk. The war is between white Europeans and Jews. That's what the war is. Because the white Europeans are into white supremacy through Freemasonry. They still want to dominate the world too. The Jews, of course, are Khazars, and they are the elite banking families that want to dominate the world. So everybody else is being used. We are being used. That's why they hijacked our struggle, called it the NAACP, put us to the back and put gays and everybody in and got everybody rights except us. We just being used all the time by this people who's trying to dominate their enemy. Their enemy is not us. Their enemy is European whites are the enemy of these Jews. Because if you go back, whites used to look at Jews like Negroes. European whites looked at Jews like Negroes. The Jews got in this country and become doctors and lawyers and got in politics and got up like they do in every land, which is why they got kicked out of every land, because they get up above the people and get in their politics. That's why Germany that's what they did to Russia. That's why Russia fell in the Bolshevik Revolution. The Jews got up in their government and killed the Tsar. And when they killed the Tsar, they turned Russia communist, and communist is just their brand of government, which means we dominate you.
Pause. Now, Pastor Darby families, our brother families, had been gone for so many years. And he was talking about this a couple of years before his death. It was a couple of years before his death. Let's continue.
That's what communism was. Y'all got what I'm saying? So there's no war with us. We are always used. You got what I'm saying? They use us. We are the only one that have a real struggle. They use our struggle. This is the reason why, who makes Mississippi Burning movies? We don't. Movies 12 Years a Slave. We don't. We don't make none of this slavery stuff that stirs us up with this, that always points to the white people only, to European whites only. But then we find out there was a relationship between blacks and Jews where Jews are the one that actually funded the slave trade. But you never hear about that. So we are used to fight. They took our struggle because it was noble and it was righteous. It was. And they used it to fight against the oppression of the white supremacy.
Oh, so it's kind of almost in a way bringing out like what you fighting for. What's your purpose of fighting? What's your reason of fighting? What's your cause of fighting? You know what I'm saying? So like when I started understanding the Hebraic culture, families, they started giving me the true understanding of what a MVP truly meant. Having morals, having values, having principles within inside your own self, families, that's going to reflect what other people see of you. And that's going to make your light shine, families, and you're going to magnify your Abba Yahuah Yahuah's name in Yahusha. It's about you identifying and you reclaiming something that was stripped from you, man. That was lost. And he says he's going to restore that in a season, at a appointed time, and on a visitation day. He's going to restore these things to you. Questions are going to be asked. He's respecting a response, man. You have to know these things. So when I started understanding the Hebraic culture, these are the things that they tell me about the commandments, the statutes, and the judgments of Yah. These are the reasons of what you're fighting for. Things that was lost to you, and you trying to reclaim it back. How can you reclaim something if you don't know what belonged to you? That's the question. How can you reclaim something that you don't even know that belongs to you? Let's continue, man.
Y'all got what I'm saying? And once they got up equal with them, they put us back down. And so these people know black people, the African American, which we ain't. We should have kept the title Negroes. We would have been closer to who we was. Y'all don't even know how we were bamboozled out of that. I might have been too close to niggas. That's what it was. Too close to niggas. So we said we don't want to be. That's too close. Let's call ourselves Negroes. Let's call ourselves African American. It took away who we really was because the black man in America is not all the way African. I ain't got time. I could tell y'all some stuff about that, but we're not all the way African. I've been to Africa 6, 7 times. Been to Africa, and I know about just seeing how they are and looking at them. We ain't all the same people. They are different people. Slaves in America came from a certain place in Africa. They took a certain people. It wasn't all Africans. It was a certain people they took. And the reason why the Jews funded it because they knew who those people were. The one that they took, they knew who they were. Because it was all about destroying one people and falsifying another people. And it turned the world upside down. People don't know who's who. And we over here living like slaves, ignorant of who we are, because nobody was ever destroyed.
Pause. So families, man, you have people out here that will take short clips of this brother, man, to defame this brother. You know what I'm saying? And he been gone for so many years now. But then you got another group of people, a tribe of people, families, that would take short clips to show you that this brother actually knew what he was talking about before he left this earth. The question is, man, who are you going to listen to? Are you going to listen to people, families, man, that's trying to defame this brother? That's almost putting no respect on the dead, man. You still talking about this brother ill-willy, man, even after this brother is gone. You ain't even trying to look at what he was trying to give a forcing to certain individuals, families, before his death. You know, he's not here to he's not here, man. You know what I'm saying? To hold what he thought that he believed in. You know what I'm saying? Most people out here, that's how they move. I see that, man. You know what I'm saying? So I try not to be around individuals that kind of move like that or they think like that, because the way that you move and the way that you think, that's how you applying that stuff, man. And you putting full of applications on that. You probably applying pressure to it too. So if you're applying pressure, that means that you going all in, man. Straight spades your way. All spades, man. You finna run this whole thing. You know what I'm saying? So there's certain information that I take in. That's why I say knowledge is power. But depend on the type of knowledge that you wasn't taking that's giving you your power. And if you do have this type of power, who is your power source? What is your power coming from? If you don't have a name on that, then I probably don't want to know where you're getting your power from. Now that's real talk. You don't even know the name of your power source. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be careful about certain information that you take in that you think might edify the people, but it's really poisonous. It's magic, man. They putting spells on you off wordplay. But then you got certain individuals that are truly genuine about the information they putting out. You can feel their energy, man. You can see they doing nothing but real spit, y'all. Spitting on the ground so you can put moisture to it, families, and make it like some clay. That way you can heal yourself, families, because you come from the exact same elements that you was made of. Clay. So I have a different mindset than most individuals, man. I don't try to think like the next individual. I don't want to think like the next individual. The one thing I do want to do, man, is fight. That's one thing I want to do. I want to be a soldier. So if I could be a soldier in the streets, best believe, man, I could be soldier. I could be a soldier spiritual. I just don't want to be with all that beefing, man. That we beefing. How can we be spiritually when we supposed to be on one accord? That's why I don't understand. Y'all want me to sit here and talk about all these different dynasties that I was already grew up to try to know about, other than my own forefathers, man. Like, what's wrong with that? That's what I'm trying to find out. How am I in the wrong trying to find out my ancient history? Because I come from these type of people. Y'all want me to talk about a nation that I ain't even a part of, man. That's why me always dropping documentations on the Chinese people. But I ain't even no folks. What? I don't even speak Chinese. Why I want to keep on showing you information about what's going on over there, and I ain't even them type of people. You know that, like, or Russia, or the Ukrainians, man. Come on, y'all. Let's keep it real, y'all.
A dome over top, because there's also a dome below in the ocean that you can't penetrate. Okay? So you guys, I'm going to have the great summing up of all things at the end of this, and you really need to look forward to it because it's going to be pretty exciting. But we know that there's been multiple resets of history. Noah's flood was a reset. Tower of Babel was a reset. The Egyptian papyrus documents this first Exodus as a reset. And of course, the destruction of Israel would have been a great time of reset. Now, in this video, we're going to go into the orphan trains of the mud floods. Around the time of the mud floods and the disasters, asylums, what was going on at that time, and who are the hidden ones, and how were they hidden at this particular time through these great resets and these great disasters. So we're going to get into it, and please stay tuned to the end because you're going to see it all sum up. And again, this is my theory, but I think it might be actually what happened. Let's get into it.
Hey, blessings, beautiful Queen Jacqueline. How you doing, sis? Hey, families, man. When I was doing my research, families, man, I was trying to find out, families, man, that are we able to honor our mother and father families on certain days? And doing my research, families, I actually found that information, man, and it humbled me, man, because it's part of our 10 Commandments, y'all. You know what I'm saying? For us to honor our father and our mother. You know what I'm saying? Even though we ain't supposed to celebrate them, but we can honor them, families. It's to show us, families, and to bring back remembrance of their guidance towards us, to make us a man, or if you was a sister, a full woman. So with that being said, families, man, I want to say, hey, happy Mother's Day, man, to our beautiful daughters of Zion, man. That's out there, man. We love you, Aunties. We love you, Imams. Shalom on that, man. Like real time, real spit. So it's good to see you, sis, for real, man. Like it's good to see you, Queen. Y'all, I'm trying to tell you, I'm really been like, I've truly been humble, man. Like y'all has really truly been showing me things, man. And y'all, I'm trying to tell you, whatever nation you come from, I don't give a care if you come to this live stream, you from a different nation. You know what I'm saying? Embrace yourself, man. Embrace who you are, man. You know what I'm saying? Embrace that. And whatever you see, whatever the Most High Yah reveals to you, bring it out, man. Bring it all out. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I love about what my people is doing. That's why I always keep on talking about that. I'm not Chinese. I'm not Ukrainian. I'm not Russian. I'm not none of them people. Y'all never seen my face. One day y'all might will. You know what I'm saying? It clearly says in the scriptures, man, that those that try to do that is clearly trying to be boastful, man. And I'm not trying to be like that. You know what I'm saying? But one day y'all see what Mo look like if his y'all is willing. You know, I got videos out there, man. No, so, but other than that, though, that ain't my mission. My mission is to bring out the information. You know what I'm saying? So, I truly hope y'all love the information. Because this stuff is deep, y'all. A lot of people refute this type of stuff, man. That's what I'm trying to say. We got to quit arguing, man, and start agreeing on things, man. You know what I'm saying? We must agree on certain things, y'all. Like real talk, we gotta quit beefing out here, man. Cause those that was lost, especially those that's in the streets, where I came from, man. When we coming up into this type of situation, y'all, man, we ain't trying to see all that. Like y'all doing all this bitter and this stuff. Y'all ain't got nobody shooting at you, robbing y'all or nothing. Like y'all beefing on some scriptures and stuff. Like wow, like what y'all? It makes us want to go back in the streets, man. But we read scriptures where it sits there and says, man, that don't be troubled. We read scriptures where the Most High tells us to endure to the end. But then we see our own brothers that's in the sisters that's part of the body of believers that's supposed to be battle axes and weapons of war for the Most High. We beefing in the body, y'all. It's making people like us go back in the streets, man. Like, dang, we already wasn't accepting because we done made some enemies. So of course we ain't gonna be accepted in certain parts in the streets. But dang, I ain't think it's gonna be like that in the spirit, bro. Come on, y'all. We gotta do better than that, man. Like because you didn't see that person point of perspective, that's what it's called a phone call away. If you didn't see that, speak to that individual. You can email the individual. You can sit there and say, man, hey, let's just text each other. If you don't feel the phone conversation, how about we just email each other time to time? I come up in the era, man, where we used to write letters, man, front and back. So I believe in that type, but I come from that type of era and culture, man. We used to write letters front and back. Quit playing with me. Quit playing with me.
So like I said, these floods are always a sign of judgment and also a sign of the nations. Revelation 17:15 said, "Then the angel said to me, the waters you saw where the prostitute were seated are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues." So it's always the Gentiles. And you see these people, they seem like they're coming up from out of the sea, from under the water, from these mud floods. And see how they're pouring up out of it. All right, they seem to be coming up from beneath in these ancient images. And these are the warnings that go out to Israel. Isaiah 8:8, "I will pour into Judah, swirling and sweeping over it, reaching up to its neck. Its spreading streams will cover your entire land, O Emmanuel." Jeremiah, "Who is it that comes up as a flood, whose waters are moved as the rivers? Judgment also So he's going to lay judgment to the line and righteousness to the plummet. And the hail shall sweep away the refuge of lies, and the water shall overflow the hiding place. So this is what will happen to Israel, and it's actually ultimately what will happen to the nations is their judgment. Waters will come up from the north and shall become a sweeping torrent and sweep away the land and its fullness, the city, and them that dwell in it, and men shall cry, and all that dwell in the land shall howl at the sound of his rushing, at the sound of his hoofs, at the rattling of his chariots, at the noise of his wheels. The fathers turn not to their children because of the weakness of their hands. In the day that is coming to destroy all the Philistines, I will destroy Tyre and Sidon and all the rest of their allies. For Yahuwah will destroy the remaining inhabitants of the islands. Baldness is come upon Gaza. Ashkelon is cast away. The remnant of Anakim. Okay? So that's I think Anakim is referring to the Anunnaki, and Gaza is where Esau dwelt. That's where the pyramids are. Okay, so they were flooded away at one time too, but I believe this is a double prophecy that's going to come again. So when the enemy comes in like a flood, it seems are in the late 1800s, there was a series of floods. But in the nations throughout Scripture are often symbolized as the flood. So there's kind of a mythology going around at the moment that a lot of these great cities of the past were just at some point abandoned. And they're usually these full daylight shots where, you really can't see any shadows. And, high noon.
And just when it was getting good, y'all, you know what I'm saying? Like, now it's time for me to go be with my families. I done put 2 hours in, so I done went already over the mark, y'all. We like 8 minutes in, man. You know what I'm saying? So, I want to say thank y'all, man. I love every single last one of y'all, man. King Will I Am, King Lamar, King Fred, beautiful Queen Jacqueline, man, that came in the building, man. You know what I'm saying? King She that came in the building, man. Those on the outside that's looking in, man, that just couldn't check. You know what I'm saying? You dig? But you was rocking out with us, man. I dropped some gems, y'all. I want to say thank y'all. I gave y'all my little 2 cents of how I try to understand things. And I just want to say, y'all, man, just keep fighting. But show loyalty, man. Like, that's one thing I'm seeing in the bodies of believers, man. There's no loyalty, man. Like, for real. Especially us, man, so we won't turn back to that. There was loyalty to a certain extent, to a certain degree. But man, what a loyalty at, man, in the bodies of believers, y'all. Why we disagreeing the way that we doing, man? There's no loyalty in a brotherhood. There's no loyalty in a sisterhood, man. Man, we should be ashamed of ourselves, the way we acting and thinking, y'all. And we saying we applying pressure on that. Nah, man, you need to turn that thing all the way off. You don't need to be applying no more pressure, because it ain't no love there, man. How can you, if you ain't even worried about bullets flying by your head and you getting shot in the leg or the hip, you ain't worried about going to a club or something where you getting stabbed because you don't live that type of lifestyle. There's those that live that type of lifestyle that's trying to get out of that, trying to come somewhere where it's supposed to be everlasting, and we beefing on stuff that ain't got no weightier matters, man. We got to quit doing that, y'all. Like, real talk. Show some loyalty, man. If you say you love your neighbor, well, be real on that. Remember, families, a true MVP is somebody having morals, values, and principles, man. Stand tall on that. Being real is recognizing every aspect on life, families. Be knowledgeable in that. Where the children of Yahshua lie, scattered around all four corners of this planet. The true chosen seed of Yah. I want to say that we are forever our sons and daughters of Zion. Oh, yeah. And we bear that to Yahshua. I want to say that I love you. Shalom and shalom.